in today's video, I'll be walking you through exactly how to start AI lead generation and earn reliable, consistent income online, $5,000 and $10,000 without needing to have any case studies, any testimonials, any previous business or any previous sales experience. And obviously this is presented by me today. So the goal of this video is really to just give you straight value and to fully explain in detail, number one, what AI lead generation is, number two, how it all works, and the key steps required to get started and be on the path to earning reliable income online with this AI lead generation business model. And in this video, in full transparency, I'm not going to be pitching you. I'm not going to be selling you anything. I'm not going to be convincing you to work with us or anything like that. My only goal with this video is by the end of this video, you'll be able to walk away with a very clear understanding of exactly how this works, especially since you're probably pretty new to this entire idea of AI lead generation. If you're the person who learns better by seeing things visually and seeing how it works step by step, you're really going to love this breakdown in today's video because I'll literally be showing you how to go from zero to landing clients with this business model. And throughout this entire video, you're going to see a few case studies, nothing too crazy, just different case studies and screenshots of people that we have worked with, helping them get started with their own AI lead generation businesses. And the reason I'm putting them in there, again, I'm not trying to sell you anything, but it's really going to help you better illustrate the specific steps in order that so that you just have full clarity on how all of this works and how you can actually go about starting your own AI lead generation business. If you're ready, let's dive right into it. So here's what we'll be covering today. We'll be covering 6 key steps. The very first thing is what exactly is AI lead generation. The second thing is how do you actually pick the best businesses to work with. The third thing is how to use AI to write a high converting cold email. Number 4 is how to collect thousands of dollars over a quick 40-minute Zoom call. That's a really crazy section, so make sure you stick around for that. The fifth thing is service delivery and actually scaling to $5,000 to $10,000 per month online in 2025 with AI lead generation. And the final thing is common questions that most people have. And again, you really do want to stick around. Make sure you stick around to number 6 because a lot of questions that most people have, I talk to a lot of people every single day, they actually are answered inside that section, right? When I was putting this video together, I actually took a look at all of the calls that I've taken over the last 90 days, some of the most common questions people have about this business, the logistical questions, and I threw them at the end of this video and included them. I thought it would be pretty valuable. The very first thing I wanted to do is just to prove to you that I actually know what I'm talking about, because obviously I started my own AI lead generation business back in 2022, and in my first 90 days, I was able to hit my very first $10,000 month, and I'm just going to be sharing you some proof really quick just because there's so many people online and it's really easy to lie and you should never trust anyone online. So real quick, this is my Stripe, it's my payment processor. It's what I use to collect payments for my own AI lead generation business. And as you can see, I set the dates over here from October 1st, 2022. That's when I first started my own AI lead generation business. And as you can see, I made zero money on October, $0 in November. And by my third month in December of 2022, I hit my very first $10,000 month. I made 10.5K to be more specific. And I'm just going to change this around to make just change the dates or something so that you know that this is real. I'm just going to change it to September 1st to December 31st, something like that. Just change around the numbers. So this is real. And the only reason I show this is because it's very easy for anyone to lie or talk about all these different things. But just to prove to you that I actually know what I'm talking about. Even more impressive than that is since the beginning of 2024, for literally the last year and a half, almost 2 years, I've actually taught this same exact business model to over 250 plus regular everyday people just like you and me, help them start their own AI lead generation businesses. And it has them making $3,000 per month, $5,000 per month, $10,000 per month, even $20,000 per month. And here's some quick screenshots. You can actually pause this video and take a look if that is something that you're interested in. But I only include this here today just so that you know that I actually know what I'm talking about here today. Please do make sure that you're sticking around. Take some notes, grab a coffee, grab a snack, and let's learn how to make some money. Let's start with this, the very first thing. What exactly is AI lead generation? Let me first start with this one very simple question. What do you think is the one thing that every business on earth wants more of? Well, the answer is customers, because it doesn't matter if the business is $1 billion software company, Facebook or Amazon or Microsoft, or it's a solo freelancer just working off a laptop from a small little cafe. Because every single business lives and dies based on their ability to get new leads and get new customers. Because no leads equals to no sales. No sales equals to no revenue, and no revenue equals to no business. Think of it like oxygen, it's air. The second it runs out, the business will just suffocate and die. So what exactly is the problem? Well, even though every business needs new clients to survive, the thing is most of them have zero idea. They have no idea on how to consistently go about getting them. And Harvard Business Review actually found that over 65% of businesses say that getting new customers is their number one challenge. That's a massive, massive stat. And according to this research from LinkedIn, LinkedIn estimates that there's now over 359 million businesses all around the world. So there's literally so many businesses, and more than half of them are literally struggling with getting new leads, with getting new customers. And these businesses are just spending billions of dollars every single year just trying to figure this out, right? There's a study from Forbes that says new studies suggest that lead generation is a billion-dollar challenge for most businesses, and yet most businesses still rely on word of mouth, waste money on ads that they don't fully understand, or just hope that referrals and word of mouth and referrals and things that just randomly show up magically to get new customers. Meanwhile, the business owner, the founder, is just constantly stressed out, just wondering why their business isn't growing, wondering why they're making less and less money, and they're just wondering, what are they actually missing? And this is why lead generation is just a multi-billion-dollar industry, because according to Forbes, the lead generation industry is literally expected to grow to a $31 billion industry by 2031. This is a new, growing, massive industry that's just expected to grow really, really quickly over the next few years. Why? Because this solves a real painful and expensive problem, right? And when you learn how to solve this problem for businesses by helping them book sales calls, by helping them get leads, by helping them get new customers and get in front of more qualified leads, you just become incredibly valuable. That's literally what it is. It's really that simple. And that's exactly what AI lead generation is really all about. So what exactly is AI lead generation is probably what you're thinking right now. And here's the simplest way to explain it. Essentially what you're doing is you're helping businesses get more sales calls with potential clients using what's called a cold email. And you'd be able to do this by using AI tools, which will literally do 80 to 90% of the heavy lifting for you. So you're not selling the product for clients that you end up working with. You're not building a complicated website. You're not building a random software. You're not taking your clients' sales calls for your own clients. All you're doing is you're just sending emails that start conversations and book meetings onto your client's calendar. It's really that simple. So you're essentially just becoming the connector between a business and the people that they're trying to reach, right? So this image is like an image of a middleman, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're essentially a middleman, and the businesses that you end up working with, so your clients is what I call them, they'll be paying you anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000 a month to do this. That's what I strongly suggest that you could charge. Obviously, you could charge less if you wanted to. I don't really know why you want to charge less. And some people actually end up charging more. But I strongly suggest to people charge anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000 a month for their own AI lead generation services. Now, you're wondering as well, wait, what exactly is a cold email? And that's a really great question, because most people have never even heard of this before, or even heard of the term before. And put simply, a cold email is just a short professional email, a short professional message that you send to someone that you just never met before. Usually a business owner, and you're essentially just going to be introducing yourself and offering to help them with something valuable. So think of it, walking up to someone at a networking event and basically saying, hey, nice to meet you. I can help businesses yours get 10 to 15 sales calls every single month without relying on ads, without you needing to post on social media. Are you interested in seeing how this works? So you're essentially saying this over email. That's the general gist of it. But the most important part is you're not walking up and shaking hands with these people awkwardly. You're doing it directly from your laptop with just a few lines of text. And cold emails is statistically the most effective way to get new customers. Is way more effective than most people realize, because according to McKinsey consulting firm, emails is actually 40 times more effective at acquiring customers than literally any other channel, right? Including social media, including literally anything else, right? Here's a screenshot of that study. So what this means is it really just presents a massive opportunity to just help businesses generate leads, book sales calls by using cold emails. But here's the thing, and here's what makes this even more interesting. Here's why AI is actually stepping in and completely changing everything. Because before AI, this business model already worked. When I first got started, AI wasn't even publicly available. I got started in 2022. At the end of 2022, that's when ChatGPT just came out. So for the first few months of me just running my own business, AI wasn't even a thing. So what that meant was I would have to just work many hours manually every single day. I had to learn the skill set. I had to learn everything from the ground up, right? It required hours of manual work every single day. It took a level of skill set, and it took tons of time to not just do the work, but learn and understand how everything works as well. And before AI, you would have to write every single cold email yourself, send every single email one by one, handle every reply manually, and do all of the time-consuming, boring, and tedious work yourself. But now, with AI, you can write your cold emails in literally seconds. AI can actually help you send these emails out on every single day, on autopilot, again, every single day, even help with replies and follow-ups, right? Because obviously you're sending these cold emails, people are going to reply back, things like that. So AI does that for you, and AI can actually take you out of the boring day-to-day work. And it's like thinking, it's like going from digging a hole with a shovel yourself on a garden to using a machine that literally digs the hole 10 times faster, 10 times easier. You just press a button and you put it in the ground and the hole just creates, versus you manually shoving for 2 hours straight. And all you're doing is you're able to just focus on the big picture, because you've probably seen all of the news headlines before. You see it, you open TVs, you go online, things that you just see the headlines. AI is replacing jobs, right? Fiverr, the CEO of Fiverr, a billion-dollar company, literally said AI is coming for your job. It's coming for mine as well, which is absolutely crazy. And that's the words of the CEO of Fiverr. And while most people are panicking, there's actually a small group of people and the smartest entrepreneurs that are actually seeing AI as a massive once-in-a-lifetime sized golden opportunity. It's a golden ticket, really, right? Because AI is now the ultimate equalizer. And essentially, AI just levels the playing field and lets complete beginners succeed with something that used to require years of experience and years of learning. Before we even go about talking about all of that stuff, because I'm sure you want to understand the details of how does AI actually work, how do you actually send the cold emails, all of that stuff, I first want to cover why AI lead generation is actually superior than most other online business models. Because let's be real, if you've ever looked into starting any form of online business, you probably came across things dropshipping, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, social media agencies, real estate, all of these different things. But here's the problem with all of these models. The first thing is you need a lot of cash, upfront cash, for inventory or startup costs. And the second thing is you're starting an extremely saturated business that most people have heard of before. Most people, again, right, they know what dropshipping is, or they've heard of dropshipping. They've heard of Amazon FBA. It's just super, super saturated in 2025. But what's worst of all of that is all of these business models, you're not solving a real painful problem. You're often just chasing trends or trying to sell things that people might not actually want, right? And AI lead generation is completely different because you don't need inventory. This is a completely online business. You don't need any inventory. There's an extremely large demand. Again, most businesses, 65% of businesses are struggling with lead generation. There's 359 million businesses in the world. Most people have never even heard of this business model before. And most importantly, you're solving a problem that already exists, because every single day, businesses are literally losing money because they don't have enough leads. And when you show up with a system that fixes that, it becomes a no-brainer for these businesses and a high profit opportunity for yourself. How do you actually make money with AI lead generation? That's obviously a pretty important question, because no one starts a business to lose money. What is actually the path to actually, and because of how valuable this service is to businesses, I actually recommend charging anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 per month for every single client that you work with. That's what I recommend. So because you're charging thousands of dollars, the math makes it simple for you to go on and then earn $3,000 a month, $5,000 per month, even $10,000 or $10,000 a month or more with AI lead generation, right? Because one client, let's just say it pays you $2,000, right? So with one client, you're making $2,000 per month. Let's say with two clients, you're now making $4,000 per month. With 5 clients, you're now making $10,000 per month. So just stop and think about that for a second. You're literally a handful of clients away, 3 to 5 clients away from making $5,000 to $10,000 per month. What type of impact might that have for you in your life? Like, quite literally, right? Most people at their jobs, after taxes and things like that, they're making less than $5,000 to $10,000 per month, right? That's a statistical fact. And that's what makes this model so powerful for beginners in 2025, because it's simple to learn. AI just shortcuts the hard parts, and businesses are literally begging for this exact solution. And that's AI lead generation in a nutshell. And in the next few sections, I will actually be walking you through exactly how you can launch this step by step. The very first step is picking the best businesses to work with. And you're essentially just choosing who you want to sell your AI lead generation services to. Think of it like this. If you were to go out and just open a restaurant, one of the very first things that you need to figure out is, who are you selling your food to? Who are you serving your food to? Are you making food for students, busy professionals, vegan gym bros? And the same exact thing applies here, because you're not just going to be doing lead generation for everyone. What you want to do is pick a type of businesses, or what we call a niche, that we can focus on and essentially just go all in with. And this is the backbone of everything, because once you know who you're helping, who you're working with, everything else in this business just becomes way easier. Your emails, your offer, your messaging, even your sales costs, which we'll be covering later on in this video. But here's the part that most people overthink, because most people end up spending just weeks or even months just debating, researching, second guessing what the niche is. But truthfully, picking a niche isn't rocket science, because you only need to ask yourself 3 simple questions. The first thing is, do you actually like the niche that you're picking? The second one is, can you help them? And the third thing is, can they afford to pay? That's the $1 million question. And that's it. Those are the 3 questions. Because we're not looking for perfection. That's not what we're doing here. What we're looking for is direction. And working with so many different niches over the last few years of me running my own AI lead generation business, came up with 3 very basic but fundamental rules that will make your life significantly easier when it comes to picking a niche. The very first rule is you must always pick a broad B2B service industry. So something, a niche, a type of business that sells the products or services to other businesses. So it can't be like a realtor who sells homes to homeowners. It can't be restaurants. It can't be gyms who sell gym memberships to regular people. Those are not B2B. Those are B2C industries. You want to choose a B2B niche. So something that sells their product or services to other businesses. But make sure you're not going hyper specific with, oh, I'm going to work with Facebook ad agencies that serve dog groomers. You want to keep it simple and you want to make it more broad. So choose something like marketing agencies, software companies, public relation firms, recruiting agencies, accounting firms. All of those are really broad and really large B2B industries, and they work really, really well. Now, the second rule is make sure they're selling to other businesses. We just covered this earlier, but that's what we call B2B. We want to work with people who are selling high ticket services or products to other companies, not restaurants, not plumbers, not your local tattoo shop. And the very third rule is they need to check their email inbox. If your leads, the people you're trying to sell to, the people you're trying to work with, if they're just glued to their emails every single day, they constantly check their Gmail, they refresh it on their phone when they're waiting for a coffee at Starbucks or McDonald's or Tim Hortons, and they consistently use email, your cold emails is literally going to work like magic. It's going to print. So stick with industries where decision makers are actually checking their emails. And personally, over the last few years, I've worked with tons of niches that check all 3 of these boxes. I've worked with marketing agencies, I've worked with PR firms, I work with software companies, software development agencies, recruitment agencies. When I first got started, my very first niche that I started working with was actually recruitment agencies or accounting firms. I've done all of these niches and assigned clients in all of these industries, and they all work really, really well. And there are literally thousands of these businesses out there. You just have to pick one and go with it. And if you're still stuck, you can actually use AI to help figure this out and actually help you pick one specific niche. And yes, there's a ChatGPT prompt that actually built out that does all of the thinking for you. All you have to do is just plug it in and it'll help you brainstorm the best niches to work with based on your own background and goals. And here's actually the link to show you exactly how this works. All right, cool. So here's the prompt. Go over to ChatGPT, and I literally just said, hey, I'm looking to sell cold email lead generation service to a B2B industry. Can you create a list of best industries to sell to and why? And it created a list that's literally took like 10 seconds. And as you can see, it just spit out a giant list of all of these different industries, and it provides research as to why they would actually need this service. So for example, marketing agencies, why? They have a constant need for acquiring more clients, getting new clients. Many run ads or social media, but lack cold outbound, which is cold emails. High lifetime value of clients. It means that their clients pay them a lot of money. That's what LTV means. It makes cold email return on investment easy to justify. Software development, selling high ticket development projects or SaaS apps, so software apps to startups or enterprises. Engineers often lack strong sales skills or outbound skills, easily targetable by industry. Recruiting, need a constant flow of companies hiring, every new client, ongoing monthly revenue, clear targeting based on job openings. So as you can see, it just spits out a giant list and really good reasons as well. And all you have to do is just go over to ChatGPT, put this prompt in, and just do some research yourself. This will literally take you like 5 minutes, and just pick one niche, one industry that just sounds interesting to you most. Once you have picked your industry, once you have picked your niche, the next step is very simple. All we're gonna be doing is building your list of leads. And essentially what that is if you think about it, this entire business model, AI lead generation, it revolves around sending cold emails. So obviously, in order to send emails out, you're gonna need email addresses in order to send emails to, and that's exactly what we're doing. And how you want to go about doing that is by using a tool like Apollo.io, which is just a giant directory of businesses and individual contact details. And with that tool, you'll be able to just find decision makers at the companies inside of your niche, just grabbing their names, grabbing the emails and dropping them into a spreadsheet that looks like this. And don't worry, I'll actually be walking you through live right now to show you exactly how you can go about doing that. Now, for example, once you're in Apollo and you set up a free account, this is kind of what it will look like. And I already went ahead and set up some of these filters so that this video doesn't like just end up like taking hours long. But I'll explain what I did. So once you're inside Apollo, again, this is just a giant directory of all of these business contacts. You just want to go on the left side to find people, go under like the filters view. And over here, as you can see, these are just different filters that you could very easily set up to narrow in on specifically who you're looking to target. So I already set up all these filters so that this video doesn't take a really, really long time. But let me first explain. So for example, under job titles, I included founder, CEO, and owner because we're trying to target decision makers. Under locations, I targeted what's called the big 5 English speaking countries. These are the 5 largest English speaking countries that have really high purchasing power as well. So we have United States, we have Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. You can target different countries, whatever you want, to be honest. But I'm in Canada and I like to just target all 5 of these countries. And again, this is a service that works globally, so you're not tied to a specific location either. Under industry keywords, this is how I find, for example, I'm going to use marketing agencies as this example. I just put in include keywords as marketing agencies and marketing. And that's literally all the keywords that I did. And this probably took me less than a minute, maybe like 2 minutes max, maybe, to set up these filters. And once you get the hang of it, it becomes super simple. And as you can see on the right side over here, it just creates a giant list of like these specific people, right? Pamela, who's the founder and CEO of Z Marketing Agency. She looks like the type of person who we'd be able to send a cold outreach, cold email to selling our service, our lead generation service. And as you can see, there's over 453,000 of these marketing agencies and specific people at these marketing agencies. Because once we have that, the very next step is building your leads list. And as you can see, this is a Google Sheet that I put together for a recent campaign that I sent, a cold email campaign I sent for my own AI lead generation business. And as you can see, they're all marketing agencies. And I have the first name, the last name, the title of the person, the company name they work at, like the name of the company, the email address, which is the most important part. I just have the location because I just figured it might be helpful. Their personal LinkedIn URL so that I could like look at them to make sure it's like real and stuff like that. And then obviously the website for their business. And I have a giant list of this, and that's exactly what you want to do. And with this is the leads list that will allow you to just reach out to all of these people over cold emails in a highly automated way, which we'll be covering in the following section. Show you how easy this entire process is of just picking a niche, picking an industry, and building your leads list. Here's Christian, one of my clients that I've worked with, helping him start AI lead generation. And as you can see from the screen, he was able to land his first client who paid him $1,500 upfront and $2,000 monthly every single month. And they're inside the real estate industry. So this works with real estate clients. Or we have Franco, who signed his very first client, who's a recruitment agency. So this works in literally a bunch of different industries, and it's not that complex, and keep it very, very simple. The very next step of this process of building your own AI lead generation business is how do you actually use AI to write a high converting cold email? And if you've never heard about this term before, a cold email is basically just this. It's an email that you're sending to someone that you've just never spoken to before, where you're introducing yourself and offering to helping them with something valuable. That's it. No weird sales tactics, no pushy spam emails, no buy now nonsense. It's just like walking up to someone at a networking event, tapping them on the shoulder and basically saying, hey, I noticed you run a marketing agency. I have a quick question for you. Are you open to chatting about a system that books you more clients using cold outreach? And that's exactly what a cold email is and what that involves. Except you don't have to dress up or even leave your house. Now, what makes this even more powerful, especially for beginners, is you don't even need to be a professional copywriter or a sales expert to write this. If you're telling yourself, hey, I'm not even good at writing, no worries, because you can literally use ChatGPT to help you write your cold emails. And here's actually a screenshot of a cold email that ChatGPT wrote for me in literally under 10 seconds, right? And in a second, I'll actually be showing you exactly the prompt of how I was able to get ChatGPT to do this. But as you can see, this is a very, very simple email. And here's how this works. You're essentially telling ChatGPT who you're going to be reaching out to, so the niche that you chose in the earlier step, what your offer is, and what results that you're helping them get. And it'll actually write you out a rough draft email that you could just tweak a little bit and send out. So think of ChatGPT, your co-pilot, your assistant. It handles the hard part of just getting the words down on the page. And all you have to do is just make a few small edits to make it feel human, to make it feel real. And I'll actually be showing you exactly how to do that right now. So here's the ChatGPT prompt to actually write your cold emails on autopilot by using AI. As you can see, I went over to ChatGPT and I literally just said, I'm selling cold email lead generation services to marketing agencies. So you want to tell them the niche that you picked in the earlier section. Can you help me write a cold email that is sent to the founder, so the title, or I could probably put CEO and owner, right? That is sent to the founder of these marketing agencies. And as you can see, here's the cold email that it created. It says, hey, first name. So let's say the guy's name is John. Hey, John, came across 123 marketing agency and noticed that you help e-commerce brands run ads. Curious, are you currently doing anything with cold emails to book more sales calls? I run a done-for-you lead generation service that books qualified sales calls for agencies using cold emails. No fluff, no long ramp up. We handle the list building, inboxes, copy, and campaigns. You just take the calls. Would it make sense to send over a quick breakdown? And as you can see, if you do this yourself, this will literally take you less than 10 seconds, and AI will literally do 80% of the work for you. Now, obviously, this isn't like the perfect cold email. There's better cold emails, and once you understand and learn what makes a good cold email and a bad cold email, and you just get really good at this, you obviously want to take some tweaks. You don't want to just copy and paste this entire email, but this is like the base of it. This gives you all the ideas, and it's like 80 to 85% of your emails. You want to make some small tweaks, maybe change some words, some phrasing to make it more compelling, make it sound better, make it more direct. But this is the general idea, and as you can see, this is how AI can actually write your cold emails for you completely with AI. That doesn't look too hard. Do you think that you could actually do that yourself? Yeah, you probably could. Now, before we move on to the next section, it's also super important to understand this is an example of a bad cold email, and I actually pulled this from a Google search. And as you can see, it looks very different than this email. Now, obviously, if you just look at it at face value, it might look similar, but if you actually read into the actual words, it's completely different. Because a bad cold email is just a giant wall of text. It looks like an essay. It's a giant paragraph. It just talks completely about you, as no clear value proposition, not even telling people what you're even reaching out for and how you can help them. And basically, it's a type of email that will just instantly get deleted the second you press send. This is an example of a bad cold email. As you can see, it just says, hi, I still haven't got the answer to the previous email. I must say I feel ignored. I've been trying to contact you, but it's practically impossible. So this email is just rude. And it's just telling people, hey, if you fill out this form, you'll be introduced to this and do all of these other things. And it's just about you. It doesn't even tell the reader, the person, what they're actually interested in and what they're getting out of it. Now compare it with this cold email that ChatGPT wrote. It literally explains the very first line, hey, I came across your company and I noticed that you sell marketing services. Quick question, are you currently doing anything with cold email? So you're asking a value forward question, and you're telling people the reason I'm reaching out is because I run a done for you lead generation service that books qualified sales calls for marketing agencies using cold emails. Would it make sense to send you a quick value breakdown? I want to share value with you to show you how this works. So you can see a contrast between these two emails. This one's a good cold email, and this one is a terrible, very, very bad cold email. You never want to send any cold emails that look remotely like this. Now, yes, there are different cold emails formats. There's different subject lines that people could use. There's different intro styles, different call to actions. Call to actions is the final line of the cold email telling people what the next step is. But even with just ChatGPT and using a good, strong, proven template, you're 80% of the way there. And the best part is once your cold emails are ready, you don't need to manually send them one by one. Now, here's what I mean. Because you can actually automate the entire cold email sending process. Because essentially, you'll be able to just plug your cold emails that you literally just wrote from ChatGPT into a tool called smartlead.ai. And smartlead.ai will just handle the entire heavy lifting. So here's what this looks like. And with smartlead.ai, it will just automatically send out the cold emails for you every single day. It'll personalize your cold emails for you. It'll track your replies and even pause campaigns if someone responds back to your cold emails. So basically, it's just having a robot assistant just sending cold emails for you on behalf while you just go about your day. Whether you're at the gym, you're at work in a meeting, you're out at a restaurant with your family, cold emails will still be sent out every single day. And when someone replies back and says, yeah, I'm interested, your job is just super simple. All you have to do is just reply back and book them into a call. So here's actually a screenshot of a cold email that I sent myself a few weeks ago to a guy called Fabiola. And basically, after I sent that cold email, Fabiola just responded back. She just said, hi, Jimmy. Yes, we are. We'd be happy to chat with you. Can you please share 2 available time slots that might work for you? And obviously, I was able to book them in for a call. So this is the entire process. Essentially, you'd be using ChatGPT to write the emails. you'd be using smartly.ai to send the emails, you'd be booking sales calls from the replies, and essentially with that, you'd be able to just repeat that and just send a bunch of cold emails, targeted cold emails. So key piece is you're not spamming people, you're not just randomly spamming these marketing emails. You're writing very hyper specific cold emails that is specific and offering value to one specific person that you'll be cold emailing. And if you're just sitting there, wait, is that it? That's all? Yes, that's it. Because with AI lead generation, you don't need to be a sales expert or have any experience. You don't need to be good at writing, and you definitely don't need to be glued to your screen every single day. Because cold emails is the mechanism that drives this entire business. It's a very simple, scalable, and thanks to AI, it's completely beginner friendly. And this is why so many of our clients get their first win faster than they ever expected. Because once they send that very first cold email out, they realize how doable this really is. So here's one of the clients that we work with. His name is called Jordan. And essentially, he was able to sign his first client a week after sending his very first cold email out. As you can see from this picture, he says, a nice case of beginner's luck over here. I started my campaign May 1st, had my first call today, and booked for a $2,000 setup and $200 per lead. So he signed his very first client literally within a week of sending his very first cold email. All right, cool. So the very next step of starting your own AI lead generation business is collecting money over a 40-minute Zoom call. And this is really just where all of the magic just happens. Because once your cold emails start landing, people will reply back to you to asking to book a call with you. And here's what wild. If you've done everything right up until this point, you can actually walk away with a few $1,000s from a 40-minute Zoom call. Here's actually a screenshot of some of the payments that I've been able to receive for my own AI lead generation business after taking a 40-minute call, right? Anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait, but I'm not a sales guy. I suck at sales. Isn't sales like scammy, right? I don't want to sell. Things like that. But don't worry. You don't need to be good at sales. You don't need to have any sales experience. Because if you've ever been through a job interview before, then you've done sales. Because essentially inside a job interview, it was just a regular, professional, but casual conversation where you're kind of just selling yourself. You're selling yourself as to why you're the best candidate for that job, for that role. So you've done sales before, and it means if you've ever gotten a job from a job interview, you can do this. Like, quite literally, that's exactly what it means. Because sales, it's really not about having some slick, high pressure, Wolf of Wall Street style energy. That's outdated. That's not the best way to sell in 2025. In 2025, the best way to sell is just by having a real conversation to see if you can help someone solve a real problem that they have. And when I first started, I used to think that I would need to pitch, I would need to persuade people, I would need to hard close people. But the second that I just dropped all of that and I just focused on being real, asking the right questions, listening, and explaining how I can actually help people, literally everything changed for me. And here's how you could actually start thinking about these sales calls. Imagine you're just a personal trainer. Someone books a call with you because they just want to get in shape. Maybe they want to lose some weight, or maybe they want to build some muscle. When you talk with them, you're not going to yell at them or use these random mind tricks to convince them to get in shape. You're just going to ask things like, okay, cool. So what are your goals? Oh, you want to lose 10 pounds? What do you kind of have in mind right now? What's your current routine? And if it makes sense, at the end, you might say, cool, here's what I might recommend. If you want to lose 10 pounds of weight, here's the diet in order to do that. Or if you want to build some chest muscle, here's the best exercises to build that muscle, and here's how often you should be working on that muscle group. And if you want, I can actually build you a custom weight loss plan or a custom muscle building plan if you want. And that's exactly how these calls work. Because you be just walking people through a conversation where the very first thing you want to do is just start with an introduction, a quick introduction where you want to set the tone for the call and basically just ask them, hey, is it cool if I ask you a couple questions to learn more about your business and see if what we have here, our service, our lead generation services, can actually help you out, yes or no, right? Simple question. Once they say yes, I've never had anyone say no, but once they say yes, the very next thing is you just want to learn more about the current business snapshot. So asking questions like, all right, cool. So kind of what do you sell right now? What's the price point that you're selling it at? Who are you selling it to? And how are you currently going about getting new customers and getting new clients right now? And once you understand all of these things, the next thing is understanding the current sales process. So basically understanding how are they currently going about getting new customers. Are you currently doing any cold emails right now? Any cold outreach? If yes, how's it going? If no, have you tried it in the past? Why not? What have you tried? And once you understand that, the next thing you want to understand is the future state. So understanding by asking questions like, okay, so what would success kind of look like for you with lead generation? What kind of results would you be looking for? Are you looking for 5 sales calls a month? Are you looking for 1 new customer a month? What exactly are you looking for? What does success look like for you? And you want to clearly define that for people. And then after that, once you understand all of these things, and based on the conversation, if it's going well, it's flowing well, you actually genuinely think that you can help them because of this big, massive problem, and you strongly believe that your lead generation services can actually help them with getting new leads and getting new customers, the very next step is you want to pitch them, right? You want to explain how your system works. You want to show them how you have helped people like them get that result. And if you don't have any case studies, that's completely fine as well. You can talk about yourself. That's one of the best parts about this AI lead generation business is since you are going through the process of setting up the cold email system yourself, you're sending cold emails to book sales calls for yourself, you can literally tell people on these sales calls, hey, by the way, if you think about how we were able to set up this call, I sent you a cold email, you're interested in learning more, you're interested in what we had to say, and you set up this call, and here we are. You can literally say that to people, and it's like the ultimate proof. It's just like a loop, basically. And if at the end of all of that, if it seems like a good fit, then you can offer to partner up with them and help them run their cold emails, help them do lead generation. And yeah, while not every single call will close, which is completely normal because some people just won't be the right fit. Some people might not fully believe in cold emails, or they might not fully believe that it's the best way to get clients despite all of the stats and facts that prove otherwise. And others they might be interested but not ready to just pull the trigger because it's not the right time or all of these different things. And that's why we don't want to treat these sales calls like one-shot pitches. We want to treat it kind of like matchmaking, because when it clicks, when they are the right fit, it just feels effortless. And when you finish the call and you hang up the call and you think, wait, did it just make $2,000 for my laptop? That's the game. And like anything else, the more you do this, the better you will get. Your 100th call, your 1000th call will be way smoother than your very first call. And that's just the way it works. But the very first one, that's really where it starts. And I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and tell you that you'd be great at this right off the bat. If you have sales experience, yeah, it'll be easier for you to pick it up. But even if you don't have any sales experience, you can still do this. And while, yeah, you won't be great off the bat, you certainly won't need any sales experience to pull this off. So for example, we had Chino who signed his 6th client. And the thing I wanted to highlight with him is he's from the Philippines. So if you're watching this and you're from Canada, you're from America, you could do this, quite literally. Or we have Sydney, who signed the first client, who's paying her $3,000 per month, and she's working as a full-time data analyst. She doesn't work in sales. She's never had any sales experience before, and she was able to sign her first client, who's paying her $3,000 per month. Or we have Nelson, who signed his first client, who's paying him $1,500 a month, and he's working as a full-time nurse. So again, the reason I'm telling you this is because if Nelson can do this, he's a nurse. If Sydney can do this, she's a data analyst. These are not people who've had sales experience before, but these are people who went through like job interviews process, right? A data analyst at a company in a corporate job, she probably went through a job interview. And if she was able to get that job, then she could do this as well. And that's the beauty of this model. Now, the very next step is service delivery. So delivering the actual service that you just sold and scaling your AI lead generation business to $5,000 to $10,000 per month. And here's what makes AI lead generation such a beginner-friendly business. Because the key thing with this business model is you're not juggling 20 different things. You're not building complex websites. You're not building a software. You're not running ads. You're not learning design, creating content, or shipping physical products. You're learning one high-income skill, the skill of generating leads using AI and using cold emails. And once you land a client, guess what? You're doing the exact same thing for them that you just did for yourself. So let me actually break this down a little bit more simpler because it could be a little bit confusing. When you first got your first clients, you used cold emails to book a call for yourself and close a deal for yourself. That's what you did. That's literally all of the other sections that we just focused on up until now in this video. Now, once you have a client, essentially, you're still using that exact same process. You're using cold emails to book them sales calls with their ideal customers. That's it. But here's the catch. You're not taking sales calls for your clients. You're not doing that. Your client is taking the sales calls. All you're doing is booking the call, right? You're not selling the product for them. You're just the middleman who brings the right people to the table. You're bringing the right customer to the Zoom call. That's basically all you're doing. Think of it like this. You're the person handing out VIP invitations at a restaurant. Your job isn't to cook the food. Your job isn't to serve the drinks. It isn't to clean the table. Your job is simply to get the right people to show up. And every time someone walks through that door, you get paid. And that's exactly what this is. That's the core service. Because once you plug in your client's offer, so essentially what your client has to sell, you're writing a cold email campaign for them using AI, targeting the type of businesses that they want as a customer. You're sending cold emails on their behalf, again, using Smart Lead. You're booking calls for them, and they'll be paying you every single month to keep doing this for them. It's one repeatable skill just with different inputs, right? You're doing it twice, once for yourself and the other time for your clients. And again, I literally just said this in the earlier section. Here's a cool trick that I love using on sales calls. Let's say you're pitching a client called John. You can literally say, John, think about how this call even happened. We sent you a cold email, you replied, we sent you some more information, and now you're here on the Zoom call. That's exactly what we'll be doing for your business as well. You're living proof that this process works. Is literally proof of concept, and it's a loop, which is why I included it twice in this video. And it always lands. Now, as for earning $5,000 to $10,000 every single month with AI lead generation, it's actually a lot more straightforward than most people make it out to be, because you don't need a team. You don't need a crazy funnel. You don't need crazy websites. You don't need some giant CRM system or a bunch of these automations. When I hit my very first $10,000 month, it was literally just me, a laptop, and just a repeatable process. And most of our clients do the exact same thing. So for example, here's one of our clients called Spencer. And Spencer, as you can read from the screenshot, he actually hit his very first $20,000 month without hiring a single employee, right? Over here, he says, after invoicing my clients for demos this month, I should be over my first 20K month, still without hiring a single person. And that's absolutely crazy. And that's the power of this model. It's very lean. It's very high profit margins. You don't need to build a massive team around yourself to make $20,000 a month, as Spencer has done for himself. And all you need is a clear income goal. So understand how much money you'd like to make and reverse engineering that goal. Because again, let's say that your goal is to make $5,000 per month. What that means is if you're charging on average, let's just say $2,000 per month, it might be less, it might be more, but let's just say it's $2,000 per month for simple math. That just means you need 2 to 3 clients. Or if your goal is to make $10,000 per month or 6 figures a year, that's 5 clients that will allow you to do that. And the craziest part is each client usually takes around 30 minutes to an hour of work every single day to manage. And most of that is just making sure that replies are coming into your cold emails, campaigns are running smoothly, and everything is just dialed in and working well, and all of those different things without having any chaos, no burnout, just one skill repeated again and again with more consistency, more confidence, and more income every single time. So if you're still here by this section of this video, by now, you should have a clear picture of what AI lead generation actually is, how this business model works, and what are the key steps involved to go from zero to earning real consistent income online. And I want to leave you with one final thought. This entire business model is built on mastering one timeless skill, the skill of lead generation. It's not built on trends, not gimmicks, not chasing hacks, just one simple, powerful, recession-proof skill, helping businesses get more customers. And this is always going to be in demand in any market, in any economy, recession or not, and in any industry. And right now, thanks to the power of AI, the skill is just more accessible than ever before. And AI allows you to just work smarter, automate all of the hard stuff, the hard, tedious, boring stuff, and just shortcut the learning curve. But let me be crystal clear. This is not some kind of push a button and magically make $10,000 a month fantasy. This is a real business. And like anything real, it will take effort, it will take consistency, and it will take real commitment. You won't just randomly make 6 figures in a year doing absolutely nothing, but you will need to put in the reps. Because the truth is, and you've seen it in this video, this is simple, not always easy, but it's simple. It's not 10 different skills. It's not learning a ton of different things. It's one repeatable process built on one valuable skill that you get better at every single time you do it. And if you're someone who's actually serious, someone who's just tired of just watching endless YouTube videos or seeing endless people on social media, and you want to do something that actually works, then this is your shot. Because everything I've shown you today, that's the strategy. It's the roadmap. It's the big picture of how AI lead generation works. Now, of course, we couldn't go into all of the step-by-step, all of the tiny nuanced details or systems inside this video. Otherwise, we'd literally be here for hours. But you now have the full blueprint. You've seen the opportunity. You've seen the math. You've seen the model. You know what it is, how it works, and exactly what it takes. Now, the only question left is, are you going to take action? Because the truth is this works every single time, but for the people who actually commit to it. So if you're willing to just show up, follow the process, and actually stay consistent, then you can absolutely make this work. Even with no prior experience, no relevant skills before this, and no background in business or sales. And that's the beauty of this model. It meets you where you are and scales with you. and you just have to take the very first step. Now, before we wrap up this video, and I said this in the beginning of this video, but this part is arguably the most valuable part of this entire video, are some of the most common questions that I hear people have regarding AI lead generation and how this business model actually works. And the way I built all of these questions is I actually reviewed all of the calls that I've taken over the last 90 days, and I literally wrote down all of the questions, the most common questions that people have regarding the logistics of this business, surrounding whether they could do this, whether it makes sense for them. So make sure you stick around and watch through the rest of this common questions section of this video. So the very first question is, hey, can I do this with a full-time job? And obviously the answer is yes, 100%. You can absolutely do this completely on the side of your job, because this business is like a gym routine. You can do this before work, you can do this after work, you can do this during your lunch break, you can do this on the weekends, and the systems and tools like Smart Lead, they work in the background once they're set up, meaning you're not glued to your laptop all day, every single day. And we have plenty of clients who started with a full-time job and actually built this on the side until it matched their income and eventually replaced their income. So for example, here's one of our clients, Simon. As you can see in the screenshot, I messaged him, hey bro, congrats on a new client. How much would you say you're making with your business right now? And he said, thanks Jimmy, not including the 9 to 5, I'm making $4,000 per month in business, which is absolutely insane. Imagine making $4,000 a month outside of your 9 to 5 job. Now the next question is, how many hours per day does this actually require? And the answer is this will require 1 to 2 hours a day, and that's more than enough just to get this started. So think of this like building a snowball. Right? At the beginning, you're gonna have to roll it manually. You have to build your leads list, writing emails, using AI, replying to interested leads. But once this gets going, you're building momentum, and it takes less effort to actually grow and make more money. And once you land a client, maintaining the campaign usually takes less than half an hour a day, right? Obviously, I'm not gonna bullshit you. This is business, so some days you'll be working more, some days you'll be working less, but on average, you'll be working 1 to 2 hours a day, and the main work that you'll be doing is checking email replies, tweaking things like testing different things, making sure results are coming in. But again, just to get this business off the ground, I do recommend budgeting 1 to 2 hours a day completely on your own schedule. So you're not working at any set time. You can do this on the evenings, you can do this in the mornings, you can do this on the weekends. Now the next question is, how much does it actually cost to run this business? And this is a major question. But the key thing to understand is startup costs with AI lead generation is relatively minimal. So think just software costs and tools. Again, this is an online business, so you don't have a physical store, but this entire business revolves on different softwares that you will need to pay for. But you're not buying inventory or renting an office. Your main tools are going to be Apollo for lead scraping and building your leads list, Smart Lead for sending the cold emails, and email counts for sending the actual emails out. And all in, your total monthly overhead should be somewhere between $300 and $500 USD every single month. And one client could literally pay you 10 times that amount. So the return on your investment is massive compared to other businesses. And most clients that we have worked with, helping them start their own AI lead generation businesses, are seeing profit margins anywhere between 80 and 85% profit margins. Again, you don't need a massive team. This is a very lean business model with 80 to 85% profit margins. Now, the next question is, what if I'm not good at sales? Now, the good news is you don't need to be, because sales in this business is more like guiding than convincing. So again, I've used this analogy already, but if you've ever been to a job interview where you explain what you do and why you'd be a good fit, that's basically the vibe. You're not closing hard. You're not going to hard close on an interview, right? You're not going to use sales tactics on a job interview. All you're doing is asking questions, listening to what they need, and showing how your service helps. And the people who book a call with you are already interested. If I'm not interested, I'm not going to book a call, right? That's the most important thing you want to understand. You're not trying to sell to complete strangers on the street or on the internet. There's no need to use any fancy sales tactics. Just be a genuine human, ask good questions, and have a good conversation with them. Now, the next question is, why would businesses partner with beginners like me? Now, the answer is because results matter more than your resume or your experience. Because most businesses actually don't care if you've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, or a month. What they care about is if you could get them more leads and get them booked calls. And with the right cold email system, which we just showed you in this video step by step, you absolutely can do this. So think of it like Uber. People won't, when I get into a Uber taxi, I'm not going to be asking the driver, hey, how long have you been driving for Uber? I'm not going to be asking questions like that. I just want to know that I'm going to get to my destination safely. So if you deliver the result, you're valuable, period. And as mentioned earlier, according to a study by Harvard Business Review, 65% of businesses struggle with lead generation. So they don't even know where to even start. So when you come along and offer a solution, they'll be interested. Now, the next question is, what countries or languages does this work with? And the answer is this works globally as long as you can write in clear English. And there's actually a caveat to this because most of your leads and clients will actually be in English speaking businesses. Obviously, I speak English, so that's who I work with, English speaking countries. But that doesn't mean you need to be a native speaker, because if you can write simple conversational emails, again with ChatGPT, it will help you, then you're good to go. And the actual tools like Apollo, Smart Lead, all of these different tools, they all work internationally. And I've actually had clients myself for my own AI lead generation business from UK, Canada, India, Southeast Asia, Europe. I had a couple of people in Australia and New Zealand, and I'm from Canada. So I've had clients from literally everywhere. And as a matter of fact, we have clients who we've taught this, who did this in their own native languages. So I've had a client who was from France who actually started selling in French to French businesses. I had another client who was in Spain and he sold in Spanish to Spanish businesses. So this works in basically any language and it works globally. Now, the next question is, do you need to be techie? Do you need to be a tech expert? And the answer is nope. If you could use Google Docs, you could do this. And truthfully, I'm going to just be real. I'm going to just be honest. I'm a very non-techie guy. I'm definitely not very techie, and I was still able to do this because I wasn't coding anything. You're not building complex websites, building a software. All you're doing is clicking buttons, dragging files, and copying, pasting text into tools. And again, if we decide to work together, we'll be showing you step by step how to use everything. And the softwares are actually built for non-techie people. It's like using Spotify or it's like using Gmail. Once you do it once, it becomes second nature. Now, the next question is, what skills are required to actually succeed with AI lead generation? And to succeed with this, it really just comes down to three things. The first thing is basic writing with the help of AI. The second one is the ability to follow simple instructions. And the third thing is consistency. That's it. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're just learning one system, applying it first for yourself, and then applying it for others and repeating it for clients. And most beginners fail online because what they're trying to do is they're trying to learn 10 different skills at once. But this model is completely different. It's one skill done really, really well. Now, another question that I get, which is really, really common actually, is people asking me, hey, is AI lead generation, is this business oversaturated? And the answer is nope. Because the demand, it will just keep growing faster than the supply. Because millions of businesses are just struggling to get leads, getting new customers. Most of them still rely on referrals or outdated marketing. And very few of them actually know how to do cold emails properly. And even fewer of them are using AI to do it smarter and faster. Because you're not fighting for scraps. You're tapping into an endless stream of businesses that need exactly what you offer. So think of it like showing up to a gold mine with a better shovel than most people have. There's more opportunity now than ever before. And on top of that, according to a research done by LinkedIn, I showed you this earlier in the video, there are now over 359 million businesses worldwide. And due to the sheer amount of businesses, no, this is not saturated. And in my opinion, it will quite frankly never be. Now, the last question that I have for today is, how does AI actually come into all of this? Because a lot of people have this question actually. Now, the answer is AI is what makes this such a beginner-friendly, fast, and scalable business model. Because instead of stressing over how to write the perfect email, how to research leads, how to manage replies manually, AI can actually help you with all of that. Because ChatGPT can actually help you write your emails. And actually, I didn't say it in this video, but we actually built a custom in-house AI for all of our clients. So we actually did that, and it's even better and superior than ChatGPT. Smart Lead can automate sending and tracking all of your cold emails every single day. Apollo helps you build your leads list really, really quickly. So AI is kind of like your digital assistant, where it handles the grunt work for you so that you can just focus on building a real business without burning out. And it also shortens the learning curve and saves a ton of time, which is exactly why AI lead generation is the best online business model for beginners and those who are working busy 9-to-5 jobs. So that's basically it for this video. Hope this video answered a lot of your questions. Hope now you fully understand exactly what AI lead generation is, what it involves, the step-by-step process, who this is for, who it's not for. And if you've got value from this video, make sure you drop me an Apple emoji in the comments just so that I can see who actually makes it to the end of this video. Because again, I see the analytics, 99% of people just never make it to the end. But that's it for me today. Again, my name is Jim Fung, and thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.